We're going to explore question 10 as well. So here we have sine. Once again, we notice that our period is just pi. So I'm going to break this up into 4 units. And because this is sine, we know that this is going to start on our sinusoidal axis. So we're going to go up, in fact, to 2, and then down, and way down to -2. And then by the time we get to pi, we're back to 0. Let's see, this is 3 pi over 2. So then we're going to go back up, down, way down, and back up. And I'm going to use a sticky for this as well because I think it's a little illuminating. I don't want to squeeze this in here. So what I know is for my for my polar graph, I'm going to put in lines for pi over 4. And I'm just going to read off this. I know when I'm facing due east, r is 0. But by the time I'm at pi over 4, well, I'm way out on the edge of what's going to be a pedal. And by the time we reach pi over 2, I return back to the origin. Between pi over 2 and 3 pi over 4, though, notice r is negative. So I'm going to go from r is equal to 0, and by the time I'm at 3 pi over 2 facing in this direction, r is going to be -2. And again, I'm swinging my angle through this quadrant, but graphing in that quadrant. And then going from 3 pi over 2 to pi, my r value goes from -2 back to 0. Between pi and, this is going to be 5 pi over 4, I'm going to be graphing in this quadrant. So between pi and 3 pi over 2, my r is going to be positive. At 5 pi over 4, so right down here, I'm going to be out at 2 again, and then back to the 0 for 3 pi over 2. But as I graph from 3 pi over 2 to 2 pi, I'm going to be, as I swing my angle through here, I'm going to be graphing in the opposite quadrant. So here again, I get a 4-petaled rose. And notice this is kind of interesting. This is also symmetric over both the y, which you would expect because it's sine, and also the x-axis. Well, that's not a coincidence because we know that if we have sine of 2 theta, we can write that as 2 times sine theta cosine of theta. So we can write this function in terms of both sine and cosine. So it should be symmetric over both of the axes.